these people are happier than people who live inland. But I don't know why is it so. Do you think that is true?
Yes, I do. I do
Yes.
think it's true.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's not true for everybody,
Mm-hmm.
but obviously it's different.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's a little bit about the natural elements that you have more you have a little bit more respect for nature when
Mm-hmm.
you're and the wild elements of nature
Mm-hmm.
when you're next to the sea because you realize that the sea is out of your control. You cannot control that, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's wild, it's dangerous. If you're not careful, people can die, and you know it's close. It's right here, and
Mm-hmm.
it's being close to the having contact, like this tangible physical contact with the elements is very
Mm-hmm.
important. So you earth, air, fire,
Mm-hmm.
water,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and so the earth is having your feet on the ground. Now, if you're if you're in a if you live inland,
Mm-hmm.
you're probably in a more urban environment.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Maybe more buildings, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
probably. You might be a farm,
Okay.
might be on a farm, might be somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But uh, and so you don't have the physical contact with the earth. This
Mm-hmm.
is concrete all around, so
Yes.
you don't have that. You don't have what would the scientists call it? Grounding. There's the uh, the electrons move through the
Mm-hmm.
body into the earth and then back into the body again, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like it's like a battery being charged when you have contact with the earth. It's important, and so that there's that. Then there's the the air which needs to be fresh, and if you live near the sea, it's
Mm-hmm.
usually quite windy, and so you have fresh air. The fire is the element of the sun, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and if you live in the pe- people live in places where they don't get any sun.
Where is it?
Well, if you think about it like being at home
Mm-hmm.
inside and then
Mm-hmm.
going to work or school or some place and then you're
Mm-hmm.
inside again
Yes.
and then you
Mm-hmm.
go shopping and you're inside or you have a social life, you do something inside
Exactly.
and
Mm-hmm.
so it's not everybody, maybe like
Mm-hmm.
half of society gets out and does things,
Mm-hmm.
but half of society doesn't. And so um yeah, I'll tell you which group of people I feel sorry for. People who are in their cars all day.
Yes.
That's a really
Mm-hmm.
because you're stuck inside somewhere, and it's a dirty environment because you're on a road and you're breathing the air that
Yeah.
from all the other cars. It's really toxic, and um, it's not like toxic. It's dangerous. Like
Mm-hmm.
some of my clients do a lot of driving in their cars.
Mm-hmm.
It's dangerous.
Yes.
When you have to work, you get up and you have to drive 3-4 hours and have a meeting, and then drive another 3-4 hours and have another meeting, and you get home late at night. It's dangerous. You're tired. It's not.
Still in cars.
Here's another thing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how many people are working to pay for their car? Right. Now, I know this is
lot of.
It's a lot of people now. If if you have a car, if you have a car, you need to work to pay for your car, right? Now you use your car to drive to work.
Back.
So you spend money to get to work, to make money, to pay for the money that you spend when you get to work. Now, of course, there's a positive side to that, but there's also a big negative side because a lot of people are working to pay for that, like I was for a long period of time, right? When I calculated like my car and my expenses, I'm like, okay, I need to work this many hours to pay for my car. Ching, but if I don't have a car, I don't need to work this many hours to pay for that because I don't have that.
That's true.
Oh, but and it's interesting. It's because everybody has a choice, and my choice was to say, if I don't have a car and I can organize myself, then I can have this much more time with my family.
Yes, it's true.
And that is one of the things I realized about 10 years ago. Right? I'm like, I'm working to pay for this so I can do this, but if I don't have this and don't have this, I don't need to do the work. So I can work. And for some people, I feel like for everybody it's different, but if we take an average example, right? Maybe about 20% of your week, maybe 20% of your week, for the average person, 20% is to pay for their car. Is to pay for their car. So if I want 20% more free time, which is like one extra free day a week, just get rid of the car and I've got a free day. Don't have to work 5 days. I have to work 4. And if you can do that with your car, there's other things that you can do that with as well. Now, a car is freedom, it's opportunity, it's necessary for a lot of businesses, it's necessary for a lot of people. But that was just my thinking and my decision. My decision was like, if I don't have a car, then I don't need to work all these hours to have the car. Can I live without a car? Yep. Okay. I can live without a car.
It will be complicated, no? Without car. Lot of.
Let me tell you what I have discovered. Right. So, is it complicated? Sometimes, but here's the thing. We make life complicated for ourselves. Right?
Yeah.
If my life is complicated, it's because of what I did. If your life is complicated, it's because of what you do. Right? Right. So when you say that will make life complicated, I say it's complicated either way. Now, because it's complicated either way, you can say it doesn't matter, I want the car. Okay, good. You know, my response is, okay, you want the car? Okay, then you have to work an extra day or more a week, and that's less time for you and more time for whoever it is that you work for. And that's the balance of time decision. My decision is I can be with my kids an extra day a week. That's winning for me. That's winning. So I think that, and there's, because you keep, it's about, there's a lot of people running really fast, but not going anywhere. And yeah, and why are you working so hard? Because I need to pay for this and this and this and this and this. Okay, yeah, well, where's the progress? Where does that go in the future? You know when most people, when they get paid more, you know what they do? They spend more.
Yes, it's logical.
Most people, when they get paid more, they spend more. When they get paid more, they buy a bigger car. Yeah, they buy a bigger house. Right? They everything, right? They more expensive clothes, more expensive restaurant. Oh, I've got more money than I need for a car, so I'm going to buy a boat. Everything that you buy will become a problem. The question is, do you want to live with that problem or deal with that problem? Do you want to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to take your car to the garage at 6 o'clock so someone can do this check in the service so you can be somewhere? All those little extra things that get added on. I have to go there to do this because I have this. I have to go there to do this, to go there to get that. And people are just they're running so fast to get everything done. And like some of my clients spend 6-7 hours in a day driving in their car.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Drive 3 hours for this meeting and drive 4 hours for that meeting. Drive over there, and they're like my clients in Slovakia are like they drive to Košice, and they drive to Prague, and they drive to Budapest, and they drive back to Bratislava, and you know from people that you work within the medical profession, right? They do all that, and what is the benefit to them from all of that? Right? What is it?
Money.
but how much? Yeah, but how much time have they lost? And how many more problems are they going to create? Spending, like you work hard for 3-4 months to save enough money to go on holiday. Excuse my language, that's funny for a lot of people. It's also, don't get me wrong, it's practical and it's nice and you get to see new countries, that's great. But here's my point. My point is that you go away for a holiday and you have a short period of time on holiday, and then you have to come back and you have to go back to work again so that you can pay for the next holiday. Back running again.
Yes.
So that you can back running again. Back running again. Now, there's lots of positive reasons for doing business, and it's nice to help people, and all the good things about that as well. And yet at the same time, it's not difficult to realize that the things, for a lot of people, the things that they're paying for, things that they don't really need. And it's not that people should not work hard. It's to think what you are working on. What you are working on. And that's even more important than what you are working in. Because I had a recent call with somebody, and we were talking about the difference between working on something and working in something. And when you're in, you're doing the work, the process, the practical things. But when you're working on something, you're outside and you're observing and you're looking down on all the parts and all the things. There's too many people, especially intellectual people and managers, who are working in doing everything when they should be working on everything. They shouldn't be physically doing all the things. They should be outside of that, and they should be observing the processes and understanding how everything connects. And that's part of what a good manager and good management is about. It's not trying to control everything and do everything, but understanding how everything works and what is necessary for improvement and betterment. And I think that, me personally, I found a lot of personal benefit from stepping back, and which is difficult for a lot of people, because we all want to do things, we want to be helpful, we want to show people how things work, and we know that we can do it well ourselves, but there's another level of thinking, which is that we need to step back from things a lot of times to understand it. And when you've got younger children like I've got, and I realized that in the first 5 years of my son's life, I was working Monday to Friday, 12 hours a day, sometimes more, and Saturday mornings. I decided that wasn't healthy for me. That wasn't healthy for me, and so from one extreme to the other.
Yes,
From one extreme to the other. If you can get some balance and go down the middle, it's a good thing. It's a very good thing. But it's interesting to me, as I said earlier, people working to pay for the things that they don't use or can't use. Or here's another one to think about. You work to pay for your home, but if you're working, you're not at home. For a lot of people, unless you work from home, so you can't use it. So like 8 to 10 hours a day, you're working to pay for something that you can't use because you can't be there.
Oh,
I mean, that's a really strange time concept. Yeah, everybody needs a place to live, and everybody wants to have a bit of space in their own personal place, and it's all logical and sensible. But then you go to work to pay for a place to live, but you can't be there because you have to be at work. It's bizarre. And then what you do is you make money to go away, like on a holiday. You're not even in the place where you live.
Yes.
And then the place where you live for a lot of people only becomes the place where they sleep.
Yes.
Because they're up in the morning, having breakfast, off to work, come home at whatever time, do what you need to do, and then before you look at your watch, it's like, oh my God, catch the news, watch a program, go to bed, get up the next day, do the same thing, Monday to Friday.
Every day.
Absolutely, and you have to work to pay for the car to get to work that you don't use most of the time because it sits somewhere doing nothing because you don't have enough money to use the car all the time because fuel's expensive. And then you pay for the car to go to work, but you can't. And that takes you away from your home, and then you can't use your home because you're at work, but you have a place to live. So.
Perpetuum mobile.
Yeah,
Koniecznie.
and society has a really bad system of organization.
Yeah.
Right, that's really not efficient.
Efficient?
Efficient. Effectively.
Effective. Efficient. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, imagine we ran energy systems based on those principles. It's crazy.
Yes. Crazy.
It's we have it. We work to get things that we can't use once we have them.
Yeah.
Which is why when I look at what myself and Yanka do, and we both work at home, and we're here a lot of the time with our kids, and like other people talk about not having enough time for their kids or not having enough time for family or doing all those things, and some. And I know that some people don't understand how we can spend so much time with our kids. We can spend so much time with our kids because we're not chasing stupid things. Right? That we don't need. That we don't really need. How? Yeah, the question is like how many things do you need? You don't need much.
No.
You need people that you love in a safe space. That's what you need. That's enough, right? That's enough, and maybe every now and then a new T-shirt or something. I don't know. I don't know, or a new pair of shoes or something like that. But
people want have everything.
Oh yeah.
Money, houses, cars, but everything much expensive because it is the best for some people, or a lot of people think that. Honestly.
Yeah, and the things that you own you. You don't own the things. You don't own them. They own you because they take your money and your time and your energy. Realistically, you don't own the flat. The flat owns you because the flat controls your habits. You don't control the flat's habits. The flat controls your habits. Yeah? And is this true for all of us? The things, the more you have, the more you have to do. If you've got 10 plates, you have to wash 10 plates. If you've got 10 rooms, you have to clean 10 rooms.
Yes. Me is enough. 3.
Oh yeah. Tell me about it. Yeah, absolutely. Like, how many cups do we need? How many, how many books do we really need? Because you read the book once, then the best thing you can do is give it to somebody else. Because you just put it on your shelf. It's just another thing you have to clean, right? I mean, right? So and that's what I see here, is that people just collect stuff that they don't really need. They think that it might improve the quality of their life, or they feel better for 20 minutes.
And then
There's some strange psychology. I've read a lot of articles about this because I don't understand it, and I want to understand. There's some strange psychology about buying things. Like, people buy something and then they're happy for 5 minutes.
And then they need other things.
Yeah, because you get one thing, it leads you to get something. Because you buy the car, and you need the special car seats, and you need to pay for the car to get cleaned, and you get one thing, and then it connects to something else, and it connects to something else, and you have to get more and more and more. And more, like 99% of people are involved in this strange need to collect things. And this is interesting with the ecology stuff, right? With being practical and logical and ecological. Yeah. And it's interesting that ecological, means economy.
Yes.
It means having a logical economy. It doesn't mean having a clean environment. Okay? The word doesn't mean that. It means having a logical economy, not a clean environment. People don't understand the language. They don't understand. They don't understand the words that they use. And it's just so not practical. The way, yeah, absolutely. It's just there's so much. The biggest thing that we waste is time. People want to stop wasting something. Stop wasting time. Time is the least. Time is the most important and the least effective resource. We all know that we need to organize our time well. We all have problems with it.
Yes.
86.
It's very important. Organize our time.
Yeah, absolutely.
All life.
Absolutely, because that's our life, right? That's our life. It's the most important thing to understand and manage is time, and we lose time through seeking possessions, objects, things. And if you want to look at it from a religious perspective, you have the God and the devil. And if you have the devil inside you, you are possessed. That is the word we use. If the devil is inside you,
Devil is what?
Inside you, in you. When the devil is in you, you are possessed. Possessed. Now this is from possession. Now it's a religious term because the devil has you. You don't have the devil has you. You don't own the thing owns you. Yeah, you don't possess the object possesses you. Which is why when in religious terms you have the devil inside of you, you are possessed.
Mm-hmm.
because you are no longer in control of your own life. It's very, very deep human psychology from thousands of years ago,
Mm-hmm.
where, the people who wrote the Christian doctrine and the Bible and the text, they understood that the more objects you have, very often the less control you have over your own existence.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why simplicity is often a good way forward for people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've got to do 20 things tomorrow. Scrap it.
Mm-hmm.
Do one.
Mm-hmm.
Do just do one thing, and if you get that done, do the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
One thing at a time. There's a lot of things
Mm-hmm.
that we need to do, and
Mm-hmm.
we don't have time to do everything. So don't try to do everything. It's not a practical way to live, and people forget that time is the most important thing, and
Mm-hmm.
the one thing that you should not lose is time, because you can. there was somebody that I did not like, and I learn a lot from people that I learn a lot from people that I don't like. It's interesting. And this person said to me, they had money, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I said, why did you spend so much money on this? He said, money is not important to me, because money was and is and will be.
Will be. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But we will not be here.
Yeah. And his point was that you can always make more money, but you can't always make more time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And as a result, his philosophy for his life was spend what you want when you want, which works for some people and doesn't work for others. But his principle was very accurate, that understanding that it doesn't really matter, because it will sooner or later it will disappear. And for him, it's like it might as well disappear sooner rather than later, because it doesn't. Holding money is the most pointless and useless activity a human can do.
Mm-hmm.
Because it doesn't have any real value. Holding money. Any investor in finance will tell you money in the bank is lost, because due to interest rates, there's a depreciation value.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So money in the bank is always going to.
Mm-hmm.
It's better to keep your money in the bank than keep it under your bed, naturally. But if money is not moving or being used or creating something, it doesn't really have any or much value at all. And when you have a life of scale, which means you understand percentages, it doesn't matter how much money you have, because you're always spending the same 5% here and the same 20% there and the same 8% over there. Doesn't really matter too much.
Do you have enough money? And enough time?
What I'm saying is that trying to get more for the wrong reason will not get anybody anywhere.
Mm.
It's about having the right strategy so that you win and you don't lose.
Mm-hmm.
So that you don't work to get the things that you need to work to keep. Doesn't make sense. Right? You work to bring value and because it gives you some level of joy. Because there's no point working to have a home if you can't spend any time there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense at all. People have, the world is backwards and upside down
Mm-hmm.
in its approach to these ideas. And the great question: do you have enough? When is enough enough?
Yeah. Yeah.
You can
Mm-hmm.
you can give me more and it's good. You can give me less and it's good.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't bother me very much.